and then it would just bring everybody down. It would destroy the whole economy. So they said, you know what? Why don't we throw Rubashkin, the Jew, into the fire, take the pressure off the economy, won't do any damage to Goldman Sachs, Burger King will be left alone, right? Everybody will be focused on Rubashkin, nobody cares about kosher, nobody cares about this guy, and that would be the possible motive why it would be a conflict of interest for a judge who's heavily invested in Burger King would want to make a scapegoat out of Rubashkin. Mm. What do you think about that? That's a possible conflict of interest, and you heard it here first, folks. It's going to be the Burger King bailout. That's what would happen. That's right. That's what would happen, folks. And you know what? What are you doing?
Throw the Jew down the well.
Right. So what we're saying here is, she has a possible conflict of interest, and she should have recused herself from the
trial.
From the trial, and then you throw out the verdict, and you have a retrial, right?
Right.
So this will probably get to the counsel of the defense attorneys for the appellate, and let them decide how they want to pursue this thing. But I think there's enough evidence right now to at least. There's a, because everything's like wishy-washy, there's always gray areas in the law. I think they've got a big loophole here. I think there's enough room to squeeze him through. That's my opinion, and we're going to see how far this goes. But remember, if they retry him, if they throw out his verdict based on what we heard here tonight, Rabbi Rabs, Levi Ford, just remember us when it gets time to write your monthly checks, right?
Right. Monthly
checks, so important.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
We want monthly checks from every viewer. We don't care where you're from. You could be Lubavitch. You could be, a former Seventh-day Adventist person or in their church. Whatever it is.
We'll take your money.
We'll take your money. It's like if you're in the chat room right now, reach into your wallet, right, and throw it into our PayPals. There's no time like the present. Me and Levi are saving the world.
Exactly.
Because I have the moral leader right here, right?
Exactly.
And you never know with me what I am.
You remember the song "Throw the Jew Down the Well"?
Okay, you want to sing it?
Yeah.
Okay.
In my country there is problem, and that problem is transport. It takes very, very long because Kazakhstan is big. Throw transport down the well, so my country can be free.
Is this from Borat?
We must make travel easy, then we'll have a big party. In my country there is problem, and that problem is the Jew. They take everybody money, and they never give it back. If you see the Jew coming, you must be careful of his teeth. You must grab him by his money, and I'll tell you what to do. Throw the Jew down the well, so my country can be free. You must grab him by his horns, then we have a big party. That's kind of what you're talking about.
Right, but you just ruined the whole Burger King segment, and who's going to want to watch that?
We could have the Jew down the well.
We could have went viral. We could have been big, and Levi had to ruin it with his singing.
So my country can be free. We must make travel easy, then we'll have a big party. He must grab him by his horns, so my country can be free. You must be careful of his teeth. You must grab him by his money.
Okay, we heard it twice. You just killed the show, lady. You killed the show.
Thank you. I also do weddings and bar mitzvahs.
Okay. All right, so that's all I got on that. What do you have? Any questions? What are your thoughts about that? Because you're usually the skeptic in this. You're usually like, oh, this is speculation.
I think that Shalom Rubashkin does not deserve 27 years in prison for his crimes.
Anything.
So let's say he did everything that he was accused of and for which there's evidence for.
Right.
Then it's like 5 years. I mean, if the average murderer gets 12 years, then why is Shalom Rubashkin getting 27? It's like they're throwing the Jew down the well because they think it'll help their country to be free. And they say transport's the solution, but Kazakhstan is very big.
Okay, you made your point 3 times. There's nobody left.
Then we'll have a big party.
They're leaving our fan page. There won't be a fan page when we get home. All right, so that's that. You have any more boring stories before we start the Parsha?
No, I was wondering if I did a lot of sharing about myself on my blog.
I was very impressed with the 45 things.
Do you like that? Yeah.
It's like you came out and said, in 45 words or less, I'm a fucking loser, and this is why women. I mean, you finally manned up to the fact that some of the things I've said for last year. I think I've gotten to you. I think being around me once a week has gotten to you. It's a unwelcomed therapy session, if you will. It's not. You don't come to me for therapy, but the things I say have penetrated the way that going to therapy would have. What's that right there? What's that photo of?
That's me graduating Placer High School in 1984.
Oh, okay. You were a good-looking young man before the beard. I think that like some of the stuff penetrated when I said, you want everything your way. You don't understand, and you're like, I don't care. And I'm saying these are not the traits a person who wants to be married should be exercising. So
it's like you're saying, throw the bachelor down the well, so that the community can be free of having a bachelor around, and grab him by his teeth, and then we'll have a big party. That's kind of what you're saying.
No, that's not at all what I'm saying. It's not at all what I'm saying. If that's the lesson you took out, then you're way off. All right. Do you want to start the Parsha?
Sure. This week's Parsha is Shelach, Numbers chapter 13 to the end of chapter 15. So, how are Rabbi Rab's criticisms of the land of Israel any different from the spies' criticism of the land of Israel?
I have my own thing too at the end. Okay. Oh, that's very simple. When have I ever said Lashon Hora about Eretz Yisrael? Never.
You're always jumping on Eretz Yisrael.
No, my friend. Not at all.
You say that it's like dirty and smelly and a lot of hookers. And that's a bad thing.
Can I explain? Yeah. No, this is a good question. I'm glad you asked it because I want to clarify that.
Good.
I've never once said Lashon Hora about Eretz Yisrael. I have talked and spoken the truth about Medinas Yisrael, which is the state of Israel. It's a secular country that's occupying Eretz Yisrael, which is a holy land. Mm-hmm. And when I say occupier, that's not to mean, don't go like, oh, he's one of those, anti-Israel people, and give the land back to the Arabs. No. Give the land back to God. You know what I mean? The land is holy, right? And there's nothing wrong with Jews living on it, right?
Right.
But the country of Israel, right?
Right.
That's the problem. It went against the Torah. It was, it went against the oaths. All of Gedolim were against it. That's all you need to know. All of the major rabbis at the time, all of them, hundreds of them, were against the creation of the state of Israel, and against Zionism. And it was created by Apikorsim, heretics. And Rishoyim, and evil people. And it's basically been governed by that ever since. It's been governed by Rishoyim and Apikorsim ever since. You never have Rabbi Eliashiv.
Yeah, Rabbi Eliashiv.
It's not Prime Minister Eliashiv. Which, if it was, I would have a whole different opinion of the place, right? But it would be totally different. It's like, it's always like some schmuck who runs around without a yarmulke, and breaks Shabbos, B'far Hesia, in public, and it's like Chazan Fresser, and it's just like whatever. I'm not saying they're still better than the Goyim. They're still better than the Goyim. It's still, you know what I mean? It's like they're still a notch up from the Goyim, but this is not l'chachila. This is not what God had in mind. God did not want us there. He's warned us several times. Rabbi Victor Miller said in one of his tapes, I heard it on one of his tapes. I wasn't there in person, but I heard it on one of his tapes, that like Israel's done very good in the wars.
Right.
They used to always win the wars,
right.
and there were miracles performed for them, right, and stuff. And people used to say, oh, so you see God's on their side. Well, no, that's not. You can't say that. Because if you could say that, then you could say that God was on Hitler's side when he was killing 6 million Jews.
Right.
If somebody's successful at something, God gives them the ability to be successful in it. It doesn't mean that's what he wants. It's just he's giving that person or those people a special ability to do something, right? Now, Rabbi Miller said that when you start seeing that there's no peace in the state of Israel for all these years, and he died in 2001, died 10 years ago, and even then there was no peace. There was all these intifada.